Hello, welcome to another video in the Lesscode Essential tutorial series. And in this video, we are going to talk about the Lesscode website toolkit. It's a toolkit to sort of help you build your website easily. It lets you plan your website so that when you start building, it becomes easier to build. So I'm going to go through this folder that we have here. You can download it on the website. When you go to downloads or resources, you can have access to the website toolkit. And this sort of comes with a few things that will help you start your website right away. This tutorial series actually doesn't assume that you know how to build websites already. So we are sort of going to start from scratch on the methodologies and sort of the things that you do with Lesscode to make sure that your website development is actually very smooth. So first things first, we want to look at the assets. We have some images here that you can use right away in the application. It has been cropped and it has been made ready for your website. But what I would advise is that these are just generic images that you can just start with and then probably replace them later with what you want to actually use for your website. We have some colors. This folder is empty at the moment. We have a few color schemes that we can give you to start building your website. We also have a content folder. So what you would want to do is that this website toolkit is updated almost every week, every 2 weeks with new stuff, new elements that's going to help you build awesome websites. So you would want to update it often. Now, one of the things that we have is font pairs that actually shows you which kind of fonts you can put together to get awesome, what do you call it, designs. So what I'm going to go ahead to do right now is just open one of these fonts and let's see what we can do. Now we put in Adobe Edge font. Some of these fonts are open source. When you go to Google Fonts, there are so many fonts there that if you don't find them in the application, you can just download, convert it, and then actually use them on your website. We'll have a video dedicated to actually adding new fonts to the application or the website that you are building to make sure that you get the kind of custom look that you're looking for your website. Also, so I'm just going to go over this folder. Sorry, I'm just going to go over this particular text file and we are going to make sure that you understand what it is. So as we are saying, we say that we have Lato and then Playfair Display. These are font faces or like font types in the application. So it's under the node name font family. So you can just select any of these. And the direction here is that you're going to use the Playfair for your headings. So the big headings and the headings for the pages, just use Playfair display. And for the body, that's the text that goes into the page. We are going to sort of use Lato for them. And I'm just going to go over into the web and I'm going to see what I can do with some of the show you an example of what a body text and a heading text would look like. So this probably will be a heading text and this will be a body text. We are going to talk more on this later. So let me just go back into our folder and then we can just go ahead. We can just go through our website toolkit. Okay, so the next folder that we have here is the layouts folder. Now the layouts folder has some layouts in here that you can sort of use. So I'm just going to double click this so that we can see it up close. So this is a layout, this is a design that you should attempt or could attempt actually do. Let me open it with another software so that it goes faster for it. So we're just going to open it with Picasa. So as you can see, this is sort of the design that we have created. It's a free design. You can build it yourself. But the thing is that this design will be available on our asset store, but it won't be free. It would be for a cost that you can design, you can download this and just change the text and upload it. But we have the full design here. We have some assets here that you can use. An example of colors that we talk about or the color scheme, we have some here that you can use to actually build this website. This is sort of the color scheme that we use to build to design this, and we have the logo over here that you can use, and basically that's it. We are going to have a lot of these layouts in here as time goes on, so check and update your website toolkit often. Okay, so let's get to the meat of the website toolkit. That's sort of the springboard. That's the starting point for your website. So let's go in here and let's see what we have inside the springboard folder. So anytime you have a website, what you can do is just copy this file, this folder, duplicate it so that you can use it to actually build your website easily. Now what we are going to do here is We go into the content folder, and what we have is empty because we've not put any content in there. So you have, if you have a copywriter actually dealing with the content of your website, you can just have the person just give you the content, put it here so that it becomes easier, and you can share this folder on Google files or wherever you want to share it, so that if you are working with a team, everybody can have access to this folder and then use it for putting their work and all that. Makes it very easy for you to build your website. Also, we have a text file called colors that actually has the color scheme for your website. So you go online, you find a color scheme, you put it all here so that you know the color codes when you're building. It becomes so easy for you to build your website. And we are going to use the system ourselves. So you're going to get a first hand knowledge on how to actually use this to make your website development very easy. Now, the last thing that I want to go over in this springboard is this page. For every page in your website, you would want to duplicate this page and put in some content that will help you fill up the content to the website quickly. So one of the things that you need every time you build a page is a title and description. Sort of the title is a 70 character sentence or phrase that describes what is on the page. It's just a short heading, and we have the page description, which is also describing the stuff on the page. It should be around 150 characters, and that's okay. Now we have the page headings, right? So what are the main ideas of your page? Put them here. You can actually write things that you think you want to do for your website. It doesn't have to be very accurate, but then the point is, it's just to help you put something down so that when you're designing, you put it in and you tweak it later. So we have something called call to action. When someone comes to your website, you would want them to actually perform an action after reading something. So you find out all the the text that you probably want to put on that page to incite the user to take an action so that it becomes easy when you're building your website. Also, one thing that you'd want to take a look at is the routes. Okay, so if someone comes to the homepage, where would you want to lead the person? I want you to have an idea that when you're building a website, you're building it for your clients. This is basically not for you. And most people think when you're building a website, it's for you. No, it's for the person who is coming. Now, what do you want to give the person? After you've written something nice in your heading, you have some content that is for the person. After the person has read the content, and where would you want to take the person next? So you put the page routes here. That's what we call the page routes, sort of to help you decide where you want to take this visitor when they come to this page. Someone could come to your home page and you lead them to your contact us page. Wherever you want to lead the person, you need to define your routes in here so that it becomes very easy for you to handle and build your website. Now that we have a sort of understanding on the website toolkit, we can just jump back into the application and start getting a look at the interface and how we can get around the application, get some core concepts on building websites, and then we can just jump into a build a project to help us really know how the application